Opinions are divided on the validity of Mr. Raila Odinga's petition to have the election of outgoing Deputy President William Ruto nullified. And moments ago, I spoke to Charles Kanjama, a constitutional lawyer, and began by asking him what the Supreme Court judges would be looking at to determine Mr. Odinga's petition.
Fundamentally, they'll be looking to see whether the elections that took place in Kenya was free and fair, according to the constitutional standard, which is the standard of the Constitution of Kenya. Were they simple, accurate, verifiable, transparent? Secondly, they'll be looking to see whether any irregularities affected the outcome of the election result. So the margin of victory for William Ruto, who was declared the president-elect, he got 50.5% of the vote, and Raila Odinga got 48.8%. And the constitutional standard is to have 50% of the votes cast plus one extra vote. So they'll be looking to see whether there is assurance that William Ruto passed the 50% margin to be declared elected in the first round.
What next if the Supreme Court upholds Odinga's petition?
So Odinga's petition is asking for several things. One, he's saying that if there is a retallying of the votes cast and there are certain errors that determine that he should have been the winner, that he be declared the president-elect and then be sworn in. Number two, if the retallying or the review of the discrepancies shows that William Ruto did not reach the 50% margin, then the elections to go into a runoff with the top two candidates. Number three, if the elections were not free and fair, if there were several weaknesses in the electoral process, then the court to declare a repeat election and to find that the election results and the process was null and void.
So how much time does the Supreme Court have to determine this case?
In the Constitution of Kenya, the Supreme Court has strictly 14 days, that is 2 weeks, for them to hear the petition and to render a verdict. So within 2 weeks, and these constitutional timelines cannot be expanded, the court has said so before, they will render their verdict on the petition of Honorable Raila Odinga, as well as a few other petitions that have equally been filed today.
What can you tell us about the teams that have been organized to take this case to court on the side of Mr. Odinga and from Mr. Chebukati, the Electoral Board Chairman, as well as President-elect William Ruto's side?
So all the parties that are in the main case, the principal case of Raila Odinga, have assembled a galaxy of lawyers, senior lawyers, lawyers with a lot of experience in dealing with this kind of election petitions. Raila Odinga is in court for the third time as a petitioner in a presidential election petition from the time Kenya adopted a new constitution in 2010. And is present also for the fourth time, because there was a fourth time when there was another time when he was not the petitioner, but he was a party in the case. So he is experienced and has several of the same faces representing him, a few new faces, but he has a team of lawyers that he can rely on. Some of them are also politicians who have taken part in the elections, and they are part of his legal team. Chebukati, the chair of IEBC, also has a very experienced team that is led by the former Attorney General of Kenya, Professor Githui-Ewart, who is leading again a very experienced team with senior lawyers that is representing him. And President-elect William Ruto also comes up with a strong team. One of the senior lawyers in his team represented him and Uhuru Kenyatta in previous presidential election petitions, that is Senior Counsel Fred Ngatia. So all of them have a galaxy or array of legal talent to call upon as they address the Supreme Court.
Mr. Kanjama, what impact, even does this petition have on Kenyans?
So Kenyans are now quite experienced in going through presidential election petitions since we enacted a new constitution in 2010 with this strict 2-week timeline. Every presidential election has resulted in an election petition. It has become part of the ritual that anyone declared elect by the Election Commission is subjected to an election petition. There have been 3 major election petitions, one in 2013 and 2 in 2017. 2 of the 3 were dismissed, but the third one, which was the first election petition of 2017, was successful, which meant that Kenyans were forced to have a repeat election. So Kenyans are very aware that the Supreme Court has the ability and from its past history has demonstrated that they have the inclination. They can choose to uphold the election or to throw down the election depending on whether they think it was free and fair. So for Kenyans, we are going to be gripped to our television sets following the proceedings through the media with several media commentators, and knowing that this decision of the Supreme Court could either uphold the Election Commission's declaration or could send us back to the ballot box.